Good evening, dear students. I hope that you have completed classwork of 5th unit air reading. Have you all done? Please don't keep it pending. You will get trouble all of a sudden. Aravind, okay? Aravind is very happy today. Good. So please don't keep things pending. Today we are going to learn bee reading. Bee reading is just a continuation of the story. The Storied House. In the last class, we have discussed about a person, Bayaji, who has crossed 60 and was retired from his service at a dockyard in Mumbai. He was coming home for spending rest of his years in his homeland. On the way, he met Bujava Patil, who was not happy with the greeting of Bayaji. Finally, Bayaji reached home. Children, family members were waiting eagerly. They were eagerly waiting to know what Bayaji has brought for them. When he opened the box, there were only a few pots and a few paintings and a few utensils. So they were all disappointed. Bayaji told them that if he had brought a cloth, it would tear. If he had brought ornament, it would wear out. He wanted to give them something that is going to last long, that is going to be lifelong. So he considered the condition of his family, where people used to sit crowded, as it is a large family. They were living in a conventional three-portioned house. He wanted to construct a storied house where his family members can reside very happily and comfortably. Let us see what has happened. They have laid the foundation on the auspicious New Year's Day. Okay, the news that Bayaji was building a storied house spread like cry from the rooftops. There was only one storied house in the village, and that belonged to Kondiba Patil. That Bayaji, an untouchable creature, should think of a rival storied house was too much for Kondiba to bear. Others also murmured that the untouchables were forgetting their positions. Work on the foundation had started. Dattaram Vadar was given the contract for construction. The foundation trenches were filled with mud, bits of stone and other fillings. Work progressed with speed. One day Bayaji saw Kondiba coming towards him and greeted him. "It is with your blessings that I have ventured on this storied house. Baiju, you shouldn't lose your head simply because you have set aside some money. Do you aspire to an equal status with us by building this house? The poor should remain content with their cottage. Understand?" Kondiba remarked rather sharply. So what happened? The news that Bayaji is building a storied house spread like cry from rooftop. What do you mean by cry from rooftop? Cry from rooftop. If you stand on the roof and cry, the entire village will hear you. Isn't it? The news that Bayaji is going to build a storied house spread like anything. You know, the methods of communication, the very important methods, 3 T's. 3 T's are the most effective communication method. Can anyone tell what are these 3 T's? Here Bayaji's storied house news spread like anything. What are the 3 T's of communication? If anyone knows, Aravind, please raise your hand and tell Aravind. Where is Aravind? Aravind has some heart disease, I think. There is a heart placed, Aravind. Okay, tell Aravind.
I don't know, sir.
With the T, you don't know any means of communication? Methods of communication. Okay, Aravind doesn't have idea. The fastest methods of communication. The first one is T is television. If you publish any news in television, it will spread quickly. Second method is tell a woman. Tell a woman. If you tell a woman, it will spread like anything. Within short time, the news will spread the entire village or the country. And what is the third method of communication? Tell a woman and tell her not to tell anyone. Tell a woman and tell her not to tell anyone. Okay. So this is the three methods of communication. You don't write in the examination, please. Okay. So the matter of Bayaji's house construction spread like wildfire or cry from the rooftops. There was only one storied house in the village. Whose storied house was it? It was Kondiba Patel. People could not digest. Kondiba could not tolerate that Bayaji, an untouchable, is going to build a storied house. He could not bear that. He was about to die of jealousy. Kondiba couldn't tolerate that. Even other people, they murmured that untouchables are forgetting their position nowadays. Untouchables are forgetting their position nowadays. Even others murmured. Okay. Let us see what Bayaji did. Work on the foundation stone. Foundation started. Dattaram Vadar is the contractor. He was given the contract of the work. Work progressed. Trenches were dug. You know, basement. Trenches means the basement, pits. They were filled with mud and bits of stones and other things to make the foundation strong. Work started in high speed. One day, Bayaji saw Kondiba coming towards him. Bayaji greeted him very politely. Sir, it is with your blessing I have started on I have ventured. Ventured means what? Start something with high risk. Venture. We see people ask us, please support my new venture. Means what? I have started a new restaurant or a new, dance academy. Then I will ask people, please support me on my new venture. Venture means something starting for the first time, newly, venture. Like adventure. It's like adventure. Whether to become successful or not, we don't know. But Kondiba was not happy. Kondiba said, Baiju, you shouldn't lose your head. If you have some money, do you think you can lose your head? Do you aspire to have an equal status with high caste people by building this house? Aspire means what? Wish for. What is your aspiration? If I ask, you should say, I want to become a doctor. Aspiration, aspire. Okay? Aspiration. Do you aspire to have an equal status with us by building this house? Poor should remain content. Content means satisfied. Okay, satisfied. Poor people should be satisfied with their cottages. Don't wish for storied house. Kondiba was not happy that Bayaji is building a storied house. Okay. Let us see the rest of part. No, Patil, please don't misunderstand me. Bayaji was little dizzy with nervousness. How do you say that? One should keep to one's position. You shouldn't let a little money turn your head. I only wish to build a shelter for my family. Then I shall be free to breathe my last. Bayaji answered. Who says you shouldn't have a house? You can have a small house with 3 convenient portions. A veranda in the front and at the back and the living section in the middle. Why spend unnecessarily on a storied house? Patil gave his counsel. No, but Bayaji faltered. You may go in for a storied house only if you don't wish to stay in this village. I hope you know what I mean. Kondiba shot out as a warning and walked away. Other ruffians in the village threatened Bayaji in the similar manner. Bayaji tried to convince Kondiba. No, Patil, please don't misunderstand me. Bayaji was dizzy. Dizzy means what? About to faint. About to faint. Dizzy means about to faint. Going to faint. You know faint? When you did not perform well in the English exam, when you get a big 0 in the answer sheet, you will become dizzy. Means you will be about to faint. Okay? Kondiba told, how can you say that? You are constructing a two-storied house. You should not forget your position. You are an untouchable, you are a low caste person. Why do you want a storied house? Should not allow money to corrupt you. Should not allow money to pollute you. Sir, I am very sorry. I wished only to build a house for my family, a shelter for my family. Bayaji replied, after making a shelter for my family, I can breathe my last. What is meant by breathe my last? Die. Breathe my last means die. But breathe my first means it doesn't mean that getting birth. That is wrong. Only breathe my last is correct. Breathe my last means die. After constructing a shelter for my family, I can breathe my last. Who told you you should not build a house? You can build a house. Go for normal house with 3 convenient portions. A hall, kitchen, veranda. Why to waste unnecessarily on a storied house? Patil gave his counsel. Counsel means advice. Patil gave his advice. Go for a normal house. Why to waste money on a storied house? Okay, Aravind. No, but Bayaji faltered. Faltered means was unable to continue what he was speaking because he was totally shocked. Already he started the work of the house and now Kondiba has given him warning that not to go for a storied house. Why did Kondiba give him a warning? Yes, not Kondiba. Yes, Kondiba. Kondiba Patel gave him a warning. Don't go for a storied house. If you want to build a storied house, you have to leave this village. If you don't wish to stay in the village, you can proceed with the construction of a storied house. Other ruffians in the village threatened Bayaji in a similar manner. Ruffians means other rascals, other waste fellows in the village. Okay, other rowdies we can say, other rowdies. Ramani, did you understand? Ramani. Okay. Ruffians means other rowdies. Also threatened him. Threaten. What do you mean by threaten? Threaten means give warning. Threaten means give a warning. Isn't it? Some of your friends will threaten you. Okay. Let us see what happened. Out of fear, Bayaji had to abandon plans for the storied house. The conventional 3-portioned house was taken up. Work was resumed and the walls rose rapidly. The middle portion was a little elevated and the small first story fixed up there with a wooden flooring. This part could be reached by stairs rising from the kitchen. No one could guess from outside that there was a first story to the house. Bayaji had to make the best of things. The house was complete and the traditional housewarming ceremony was planned. Invitations were sent to relatives in different villages. The village elders by convention could not be invited to a meal or refreshment, so they were invited to the ceremonial Pan Supari. Bayaji put up a fine pandal in front of the house. His sons worked hard for 2 full days on the decorations. Relatives started arriving. Well-known devotional singers Kadegongar Buva, Parasu Buva, Kalegokar Bapu Master, Jija Buva, and Vidoba of Vadgan came with their troops. People looked forward with delight to forthcoming contest among the various troops. So Bayaji was afraid. All the villagers were warning him not to go for what? Minusri, please unmute. What warning did Kondiba give? Minusri, please click on unmute. Please click on unmute. Check out. Okay. Check out now. You are not able to unmute. Okay, fine. So, villagers threatened him or warned him, especially Kondiba and other ruffians. They warned him, telling that don't go for storied house. If you construct a storied house, you'll have to go out of the village. Out of fear, Bayaji had to abandon the plans for the storied house. Abandon means leave. He left that plan of constructing a storied house. He constructed a conventional. What do you mean by the word conventional? Means what others do. Usual, conventional, usual. He went for the usual 3-portioned house. I told you before, usually untouchables or low caste people, they construct 3-portioned house. Work started fast. Walls rose up. But Bayaji did something very tricky. What he said, let us see here. Bayaji constructed the house. But how was the house? Just look at this picture. They told him don't construct storied house. So storied house will be something like this: 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floor. What did Bayaji do? Bayaji constructed a normal house, and in the middle he has, from outside we can't see. Inside the house he created another floor inside the house. This can be reached by a stair from the kitchen. From kitchen there is a staircase. You can reach here. So this is also another floor. But when you look from out, what you see? Only a normal, conventional 1-storied single floor house. He has hidden, he has constructed a floor. See here, middle portion was little elevated. Elevated means raised. And a small first story fixed up. He fixed a small first story with a wooden flooring. With a wooden flooring. Namrata, is it okay? Okay, you are smiling. I think you are very shocked to find the trick of Bayaji. Okay, Bayaji created a hidden floor. Okay, because Bayaji didn't want to compromise. To satisfy Kondiba and other wise fellows, what did he do? He created the house as a single-storied house. Then within the house, he created a secret floor. Now, construction is over. Construction was over. The traditional housewarming ceremony was planned. Housewarming ceremony, everyone knows, you attend plenty of housewarming ceremonies. Invitations were sent to relatives in different villages. Village elders. Who are village elders? High caste people. There is a custom in that village. What is a custom? High caste people cannot be invited for the traditional housewarming ceremony. They cannot come there and have meals or any refreshment or anything, because untouchability is there in practice. Okay, Harshini, untouchability is in practice in that society. So village elders, that means high caste people never come to their house for meals or any other refreshment. However, they can be invited for only one ceremony. What is that ceremony? Pan Supari ceremony. Pan Supari ceremony. You know what is Pan Supari ceremony? Pan Supari. Taking betel nuts, betel leaf, betel nut, pan shops are there, pan shops. What they give in pan shop? Pan, sweet pan, various pans, the people who chew the pan. And even when you attend some functions, at the end of the function, they give pan supari, isn't it? Haven't you seen anywhere? In betel leaf, they prepare pan supari. Okay? So only these high caste people can attend the pan supari ceremony. They can come, chew the pan, and they can go back. Bayaji put a fine pandal. Pandal means a big tent. His sons were working hard on decorations. Relatives started arriving, and there is another program in housewarming here. What is the program? Singing competition, not competition, bhajan singing. Singing. Well-known singers of Maharashtra. Kadegongar Buva, Parasu Buva, Kalekar Bapu Master, Jija Buva, Vidhoba of Vadgan. These were the famous singers of that region. They came with their troops. Troops means total gang. All of them were eagerly waiting for the singing competition among these troops. There is going to be a singing contest. Everyone was eagerly waiting. In the evening, 4 Petromax lights were hung in the 4 corners of the pandal. It lent a unique golden yellow light to the surroundings. Guests were engrossed in conversation. Kondiba Patel was soon there. With him was the thug Bujaba and 4 or 5 seasoned rascals like Vidhoba Gayakude and Parasu Martanda. These people felt uneasy at the sight of brand new house, the impressive pandal, and the crowd of smiling faces. So, as it is the story that belongs to olden days, what has happened? Are you able to see the textbook? No. Okay. I have just opened it to show you Petromax lights. You might not have seen this in your childhood because it is traditional lamps where electricity was not there. Where electricity was not there, Petromax lights were used. You look at these lights, these are known as Petromax. Okay? How do we use it? We'll have to pump air into it. There will be kerosene or petrol in that. Diesel or kerosene, we have to pump. Then there will be a filament. We should light it up like gas stove. It will be enclosed by glass covering. Same like our tube light or emergency light, Petromax lights were used in olden days. So on all corners, 4 corners of pandal, Petromax lights were hung. Okay? Guests were engrossed in conversation. Usually Petromax lights give yellow color light. Petromax lights always give yellow color light. Guests were engrossed. Engrossed means involved in conversation. Usually when you go to function, if you're eagerly waiting for the ceremony to happen, you'll have a lot of time in hand. What do? You sit there and chit chat. You talk about your life, or if it is woman, talk about new sarees they purchased or new washing machine they purchased. If it is man, what do they talk? They talk about the new movie they have watched. They talk about the tractor they purchased, vehicle they purchased. Talks goes on like that. Simply chit-chatting. So guests started their conversation. Soon who was there? Our villain, Kondiba Patel was there. He was not alone. The thug Bujava. Who is thug? Same like ruffian. Just before we learned the word ruffian. Rascal, ruffian, rowdy. Thug means rowdy. Bujava was also there. Not only Bujava. 4 or 5 seasoned rascal. Seasoned rascals means very trained rowdies. Very professional rowdies. Seasoned rascals. Who are they? Vidhoba Gayakude, Parasu Martanda, and many other rowdies were present there. They are all high caste people. They couldn't tolerate the brand new house and the beautiful pandal. They were not happy. An untouchable creature has constructed a beautiful house. Their eyes rolled all over the place. Bayaji led them up the stairs in the kitchen. The first floor looked like a drawing room. The walls were radiant with blue oil paint. The fresh color gave out a pleasant smell. Framed pictures of great men like Lord Buddha, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Karmavir Bhaurao Patel, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, and others hung on the walls. The loft-like first floor was filled with pious and holy ambience. Their eyes roved all over the place. Rove means what? Wandered. Wander. Wander means roam. Wander. Their eyes roved all over the place. Bayaji slowly took them inside, upstairs from the kitchen. Just imagine, is it necessary for Bayaji to take them up and show the hidden floor? Not at all necessary, but Bayaji took them upstairs. First, he took them inside the house to the kitchen, and there was a staircase to the first floor, and he took them up. It looked like a drawing room. The first floor looked like a drawing room. It gave out fresh smell of newly painted house. If you visit newly painted house, it will have a special smell, pleasant smell. Many pictures were hanging on the wall of the first floor, hidden first floor, we should say, hidden first floor. Whose pictures were there? Buddha's picture, Ambedkar's pictures, Bhaurao Patel's pictures, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule's picture, all the great people of Maharashtra, their pictures were there. That first floor was filled with a pious and holy ambience. Pious means what? Pious means holy. Very devotional, we can say, pious. You may get a question examination. What is the noun form of the word pious? Piety. The noun form of the word pious is piety. This will be asked in the bit where they ask you to write the correct form of the word, write the antonym of the word. There is a particular section in the vocabulary and grammar part of your SSC examination paper. They may ask you noun form of the word, pious, piety. Okay. Ambience. What do you mean by ambience? Atmosphere. Ambience means atmosphere. A very spiritual atmosphere was there in the first floor because many photos of great people and gods were there. A spiritual atmosphere was prevailing in the first floor. Is it clear, Akbar? Okay. Now let us see what happened. Bayaji spread a rough woolen carpet for Patil and the other high caste people. Patil sat quietly on that. His companions, rather uncomfortable, took their positions around him. Bayaji offered them the customary betel leaves. Patil accepted the leaves but immediately gave it back to Bayaji with the remark, "Yes, it's all very nice. But why don't you accept the betel leaves?" Bayaji asked nervously. Bujava smiled artificially and said, "It's enough that your offering is honored. Is it also necessary to eat it? We'll make a move now." With this, Kondiba Patil, Bujaba, and his companions rose to leave. As they came down, Bujaba felt as if he were tumbling down the stairs. They eyed one another as if to say, "This untouchable worm has got a swollen head. He needs proper handling." Bayaji fed all his guests with a meal of shira and puris. Along with betel nuts, items of gossips rolled over their tongues, and then the session of social devotional song began. So Bayaji took them upstairs, spread a woolen carpet. Okay? Bujava Patil, Kondiba Patil, and all the other high caste people sat on that. Bayaji took the customary betel leaves. You know, but what is betel leaf? The leaf that they use in pan. The leaf that they use in pan like this something. Okay. I think betel leaf. Okay. They use this leaf and they apply something on the leaf. They take betel nut and all together they fold and put in mouth and chew like a goat. Isn't it? So Bayaji gave them betel leaves. Patil took that and gave it back immediately. Then told it's all very nice, house is very nice. Then Bayaji asked, why don't you accept my betel leaf? Why don't you accept my betel leaf? Bujava told, it's enough that your offering is honored. We respected your offering. It is enough. It's not compulsory to eat. We accepted your leaf. That is enough. Your offering is already honored. We are going. Who told? Kondiba Patil, Bujava Patil, and they started coming down the stairs. When they were coming down, Bujaba felt as if he were tumbling down the stairs. Tumble means I have already told you. Falling quickly. Fall quickly. Tumble means fall quickly. They felt they couldn't tolerate. Mind was full of jealousy that an untouchable creature has constructed a storied house. They were not able to digest that. They eyed one another. They eyed one another means what? They looked at one another and told, this fellow, this untouchable worm, see how he is addressing untouchable worm, has got a swollen head. Means what? His head is swollen. We say some people in our village, rich people, he is a swollen man, we say. Swell means, swell, become big. Your hand may get injury, then what happens? Your hand will be swollen. We say in our village, if you see some rich people, he is a swollen man, isn't it? He has a lot of money. So the same who was telling here, Bujava and his companions, this untouchable worm has a swollen head. We need to handle him properly. And they went away. Bayaji entertained all the guests with puri and shira. Everyone knows shira and puris. Shira is a sweet made of rava, I think. Shira. On Vinayak Chavati and all, we get it after puja. Shira. Puris, everyone knows. Along with the betel nuts. And people after eating, what did they do? They started chewing pan. They started chewing pan. Along with the betel nut, gossips rolled over their tongues. Gossip means, gossips. Some untrue matter about other people or other, other personalities, gossips, rumors. They started talking each other. That woman who is near Kondiba Patil's house has got 100 crore rupees. Like this, trivial matters they were speaking. Okay. Or we say, that person next to my house, he has got corona. These are gossips. Okay. After gossips, what happened? Devotional songs started. Devotional songs started. Okay, just a minute. Devotional songs started. Okay. Among the bhajan singers, Kalekar Bapu Master has a superior voice. Kadegogar Bua was better at classical singing. Devotional songs were sung in praise of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar and Lord Buddha. People swayed their heads in appreciation as the program gathered momentum. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. Bayaji was strutting about in the pandal. He sat down by a guest now and then to inquire after his welfare. Small children unable to resist sleep had dropped off like bundle of rags. Women sat in the front veranda. Bayaji's children were busy preparing tea for second round. They had to put tea powder and sugar into a pot on a drenched stove and waited for water to boil. The bhajan was in full swing. I had a dream at night and my heart was full of feeling when the line. The group advanced from baseless devotional like from the east came a horde of ghosts, each one with 7 heads to social devotionals. Kalekar Bapu Master's powerful voice rose up. Take to heart the sweet advice of Bhimaraya and bow down to Buddha for the emancipation of the whole world. I fly to the refuge of Lord Buddha. I fly to the refuge of the faith. I fly to the refuge of the faithful. The song rent the air, filling it with joy, and then the undreamt of incident took place. Among bhajan singers, mainly Kalekar Bapu Master was famous. Bubba was famous at classical singing. They started singing songs in praise of Ambedkar and Buddha. People swayed their head. They started telling, wow, 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 wow. Isn't it when you hear songs you say like that? As an appreciation, encouragement to whom? The singers. They also moved, swayed their head and appreciating. Program gathered momentum. Momentum means speed. Okay? Bayaji was strutting in the pandal. Strut means walk up and down. Strut means walk up and down. Strut means walk up and down. Now and then he was stopped by some guest and asked how is he and how is his family and all. Children unable to resist sleep. Children couldn't resist sleep. Resist means control. They couldn't control sleep. When you walk in front of the sweet house, you cannot resist temptation, we can say. Resist temptation means you cannot control temptation. You will feel like breaking the glass and taking some ladus and running away. Okay, so he couldn't resist. Children couldn't resist sleep. They fell like bundle of rags. Cloth. Bundle of cloth. How do we throw? Like that children all fell asleep. Woman sat in the front veranda and started telling rumors about this person and that person. Woman, I told you, communication method. See, that is only a joke. Don't take it for granted. I am not speaking against woman. That is just for at the lighter side, okay? So they were chit-chatting there. Bayaji's children were preparing tea for second round because some were still awake. Time was 2:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So most of them have fallen asleep. Bayaji's children put a tea powder and sugar into a pot on a trenched stove. Trenched stove means digging the ground and like conventional pakka stove, we can say, using firewood. They were waiting for the water to boil. Some lines of the bhajan is mentioned here. One bhajan, you know, bhajan is something devotional and social. I had a dream at night and my heart was full of feeling. That is first line of the bhajan. And from the devotional song, they went to social devotionals, means social songs like folk songs. From the east came a horde of ghosts. Horde means group. A group of ghosts came. Each ghost had 7 heads. These are the lines of the songs. Kalekar Bapu Master's song was very powerful. What is his song? Take to heart the sweet advice of Bhimaraya and bow down to Buddha. Always listen to the advice of Bhimaraya and respect Buddha, Lord Buddha. You will get emancipation. Emancipation means liberty or freedom. If you want freedom from the world, if you want freedom for the whole world, please listen to the advice of Bhimaraya and bow down to Buddha. I fly to the refuge of Lord Buddha. Refuge means shelter. I take shelter in Lord Buddha. I take shelter in faith. I take shelter in the faithful. Song rent the air. Rent means so air was filled with the songs. Air was filled with songs. Everything was fine. Very happy moments. Suddenly, undreamt of incident took place. Undreamt of incident means we will never dream of that incident. Such type of an incident took place. What is that incident? We'll see in the next class. Okay, today we were having what you call meals at Bayaji's housewarming ceremony, isn't it? Many students are satisfied, I think, with the Bayaji's housewarming ceremony. Had puris and shiras, and you also had pan supari, had gossips, had rumors, everything you had. And tomorrow we'll see what will happen to us in the Bayaji's housewarming ceremony. Okay, that's it for today. Please read the text.
Good afternoon, children. How are you all? Welcome to Sanvi Learning Services. So today we are going to discuss about polynomials. Chapter 3, polynomials. And in previous class, I have given some homework. Have you all completed your homework? I told you, solve the remaining graph problems. Okay. So, Minnosri have done very good, Minnosri. Okay, Minnosri. Okay, very good, excellent. So, children, the remaining students also, you complete the graph problems. Why? Because 100% one problem is asking in examination. Okay, one problem will come, 4 marks question. Okay, so all of you be perfect in graph problems. Right. Now, today, again, one more important topic we are going to discuss. So that is, let us see what topic it is. Okay, children. So all of you take your CWs. See here, we have completed exercise 3.2. Now, the next topic, okay, see children, this is exercise 3.2. Already we have completed in previous class. Okay. So exercise 2 after. See, relation between zeros and coefficients of a polynomial. Relationship between zeros and coefficients of a polynomial. Okay. So what relation is there between zeros and coefficients? Let us discuss now. This is also very important topic. So all of you listen carefully. See, we all know that there are three types of polynomials. Okay. There are three types of polynomials. One is linear polynomial and second is quadratic polynomial and third one is cubic polynomial. Okay, see children, here I am writing. The first polynomial is linear polynomial. Okay. Types of polynomials. Okay, types of polynomials. There are three types of polynomials. The first one is linear polynomial. Linear polynomial. Okay, what is linear polynomial? If the degree is 1 of a polynomial, it is called a linear polynomial. Okay, linear polynomial's degree should be 1. If the degree is 1, it is called a linear polynomial. Okay, and what is the general form of linear polynomial? That is ax plus b. Okay, general form of linear polynomial is ax plus b. Okay. General form of a linear polynomial is ax plus b. Okay. And second one is quadratic polynomial. Okay. See, second one is quadratic polynomial. The second polynomial name is quadratic polynomial. Quadratic polynomial. So what is quadratic polynomial? If the degree is 2, if degree is 2, then it is called quadratic polynomial. Okay. So already we have discussed in previous classes what is quadratic polynomial. So quadratic polynomial means degree should be 2. Okay. And the general form of the quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. General form of the quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. See, if we see the highest power in this, 2 is the highest power now. 2 is highest power. So the degree of this polynomial is 2. It means if the degree is 2 of a polynomial, then it is called a quadratic polynomial. And the general form of quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. Okay. And in this polynomial, a is called x square coefficient, b is called x coefficient, and c is the constant number. Okay. Coefficient means side number. So here x square side a is there. So a is called x square coefficient. Here x side b is there. So b is called x coefficient. And here any variable not there. So c means it is constant number. Okay, children. So this is quadratic polynomial. Now the third one is cubic polynomial. Third one is cubic polynomial. So what is cubic polynomial? Degree should be 3. If the degree is 3, then it is called cubic polynomial. Okay. So the general form of cubic polynomial is ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. Ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d is the general form of the cubic polynomial. See, if we observe this polynomial, here the highest power 3 is there. No? Highest power 3 is there. It means its degree is 3. It means if the degree is 3, then it is called cubic polynomial. And the general form of the cubic polynomial is ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. Okay, children. So these are the 3 types of polynomials. Very, very important. So now what is our topic? Relationship between the zeros and coefficients of polynomial. Okay. See here, the degree of this degree of a cubic polynomial is 3. Degree of a cubic polynomial is 3. So as its degree is 3, so this polynomial we get zeros. So number of zeros we get for this polynomial at least 3. So how much degree is there? That many zeros we get. Here the degree of quadratic polynomial is 2. So number of zeros, the zeros we get 2. Okay. So it means as degree of a quadratic polynomial is 2. So we get at least 2 zeros per quadratic polynomial. Okay. And the linear polynomial, as its degree is 1, so we get only 1 0. Okay. So like this, for linear polynomial we get only 1 0. Why? Because its degree is 1. And quadratic polynomial we get 2 zeros. Why? Because its degree is 2. And cubic polynomial we get 3 zeros. Why? Because its degree is 3. Okay. So these are the 3 types of polynomial, children. Now our main topic is relationship between the zeros and coefficients. See, once observe the cubic polynomial ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. So here in this polynomial, a is called x coefficients. Sorry, a is called x cube coefficient. Why? Because x cube side a is there. So a is the x cube coefficient, and b is the x square coefficient, and c is the x coefficient, and d is the constant number. Okay, d is the constant number. Now let us see our main topic, the relationship between zeros and coefficients. relationship between the zeros. All of you write this heading. Relationship between the zeros and coefficients. Relationship between the zeros and coefficients of a quadratic polynomial. Now we are going to discuss relationship between the zeros and coefficients of a quadratic polynomial. Okay. So just now we have discussed what is quadratic polynomial. Okay. So let ax square plus bx plus c is a quadratic polynomial. Okay, let ax square plus bx plus c is a quadratic polynomial and alpha and beta are the zeros. Okay, so why? Because as its degree is 2, so we get at most 2 zeros here for this quadratic polynomial. So here ax square plus bx plus c is a quadratic polynomial, and that its 2 zeros are, let us take alpha and beta. If the 2 zeros are alpha and beta, okay, then so what we get the relation? See, the first one is sum of the zeros. Sum of the zeros. So when we find the sum of the zeros, the 2 zeros are, we have taken alpha and beta. So sum of the zeros means alpha plus beta. Okay. So sum of the zeros, it means alpha plus beta is equal to. So we have a small relationship, that is minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. Coefficient of x square. Okay. Okay. Sum of the zeros alpha plus beta is equal to minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. It means, see here, minus symbol as it is, you write coefficient of x. Okay. So what is coefficient of x in our quadratic polynomial? See, this is quadratic polynomial. Okay. Right. See, this is the quadratic polynomial. Ax square plus bx plus c is the quadratic polynomial, right? So in this, we are saying that sum of the zeros alpha plus beta is equal to minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. See here, minus symbol as it is, coefficient of x. Here, what is coefficient of x? It means x side number, b. Okay. So b is the coefficient of x. It means the minus symbol as is we written, coefficient of x is b by coefficient of x square. what is x square coefficient? A, isn't it? So coefficient of x square is A. It means sum of the zeros for a quadratic polynomial. To find the sum of the zeros, formula is alpha plus beta is equal to minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. It means minus b by a. Okay. So sum of the zeros formula is minus b by a. Okay. Now next, second one is product of the zeros. Second one is product of the zeros. Product of the zeros. So product of the zeros, the two zeros we have taken alpha and beta. So product of the zeros means alpha into beta. So alpha into beta is equal to alpha beta. Okay. So product of zeros formula is constant term. Constant term by coefficient of x square. Okay. Product of the zeros formula is alpha beta is equal to constant term by coefficient of x square. See here, constant term. What is constant term in our quadratic polynomial ax square plus bx plus c? C is the constant term now. So it means c by coefficient of x square. What is coefficient of x square? A is the coefficient of x square. So it means by a. It means product of the zeros formula for a quadratic polynomial alpha beta is equal to constant term by coefficient of x square or c by a. Okay, children, these formulas are very important. So you have to remember these two formulae, sum of the zeros and product of the zeros. Okay. So this is the relation between zeros and coefficients of a quadratic polynomial. Okay, children. Next, cubic polynomial. What is the relationship between the zeros and coefficients of a cubic polynomial? Let us see here. Okay, see here. Now, next, write the heading. Relationship between zeros and coefficients of a cubic polynomial. Okay, cubic polynomial. Instead of quadratic polynomial, write cubic polynomial. Okay. So write there cubic polynomial. Okay. So write the heading relationship between the zeros and coefficients of a cubic polynomial. Okay, cubic polynomial. So let us see what relations will come. See, let ax square, sorry, cubic polynomial means let ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d is a cubic polynomial. Okay. So let ax square, let ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus D is a cubic polynomial, and here the zeros alpha, beta, and gamma. We know that for a cubic polynomial we get three zeros. So in the three zeros, alpha, beta, and gamma, right? So alpha, beta, gamma are the zeros. Now we have again same formula. First of all, sum of the zeros. Okay, sum of the zeros. Sum of the zeros. Here three zeros are there. One is alpha, second one is beta, and third one is gamma. So sum of the zeros means alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to sum of the zeros formula alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus of coefficient of x square by coefficient of x cube. Okay, coefficient of x cube. Okay, this is the formula, children. Cubic polynomial. Sum of the zeros of a cubic polynomial alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus of coefficient of x square by coefficient of x cube. See here, minus symbol as it is. Coefficient of x square. What is coefficient of x square in our polynomial? What is coefficient of x square in our polynomial? Let us see here. See here, the coefficient of x square is b and coefficient of x cube is a. It means same formula b by a. Okay. So the relation sum of the zeros formula is alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus of coefficient of x square by coefficient of x cube. So here x square coefficient b is there and x cube coefficient is a is there. It means the formula is minus b by a. Okay. And the second formula is product of the zeros. Product of the zeros. So product of the zeros. What are the zeros here? Alpha, beta, and gamma. So alpha, beta, gamma is equal to. The formula is minus of constant term. Minus of constant term by coefficient of x cube. So product of the zeros formula is alpha, beta, gamma is equal to minus of constant term by coefficient of x cube. So let us see here, that is equal to minus of constant term. See, minus symbol as it is. What is constant term? D is the constant term. By, and what is x cube coefficient? A. It means the product of zeros formula is minus d by a. Okay, minus d by a. Okay, children. So these are the two relations between the zeros and coefficients. And one more formula so is there along with them. So let us see here what is the formula here. Product of the zeros. Next, in cubic polynomial, one more formula we get here. So the formula is sum of the product of the zeros taken to at a time. Sum of the product of the zeros taken to at a time. Okay. So let us see what is that. So now see here, third formula is sum of the product of the zeros sum of the product of the zeros taken to at a time. Sum of the product of the zeros taken to at a time. Okay, it means sum and product two we can take at a time. Okay, so sum of the product of the zeros taken to at a time. It means, see here, two zeros we should take at a time here. Okay, first two zeros are alpha and beta plus, and the next two zeros are beta and gamma plus, and the next two zeros are alpha and gamma. See children here, alpha, beta, gamma. Three zeros are there, alpha, beta, gamma. So, when we take three zeros, alpha, beta and gamma, first two zeros we will take alpha and beta, next beta and gamma, okay, next alpha and gamma. So here see, sum is there and product is there. Okay, sum is there and product is there, and two zeros taken at a time. Okay, sum is there and product is there, and two zeros taken at a time. So like this, sum of the product of the zeros taken to at a time. So the formula is coefficient of x by coefficient of x cube. Okay, coefficient of x by coefficient of x cube. Okay, see here, coefficient of x. So in our cubic polynomial, coefficient of x is c, and coefficient of x cube is a. It means c by a. So sum of the product of the zeros taken to at a time, alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha is equal to coefficient of x by coefficient of x cube. Okay, so this is the third formula, right? Now at last one more formula is there. So one more formula is there, that is, the next one is, if alpha and beta, are the zeros of a, see here two zeros only we have taken. So two zeros for which polynomial we get? We all know that for quadratic polynomial. Okay. So if alpha and beta are the zeros of a quadratic polynomial, if alpha and beta are the zeros of a quadratic polynomial, then the quadratic polynomial is k of x squared minus x into alpha plus beta plus alpha beta. So this is the formula, children. It means this formula is whenever given two zeros of a quadratic polynomial, to find the quadratic polynomial. So whenever given two zeros to find a quadratic polynomial, so the formula is k of x squared minus x into alpha plus beta plus alpha beta. So here k means any constant number. Here k means any constant number. So here k means any constant number. See here x means here variable. So we have the formula to find a quadratic polynomial whenever given two zeros alpha and beta. So what is the formula? K of x squared minus x into alpha plus beta plus alpha beta. So here k means any constant number. Alpha plus beta means sum of the zeros. Okay, alpha plus beta means sum of the zeros. Alpha plus beta means sum of the zeros. Sum of the zeros. Okay, and here alpha beta is there. So alpha beta means alpha into beta. So alpha into beta means product of the zeros. Okay, alpha beta means product of the zeros. So these formula, children, very important to solve exercise problems. Okay, so let us revise once again these formulas. See, first of all, relationship between the zero sign coefficients of a quadratic polynomial. Sum of the zeros formula is minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x squared, that is minus b by a, and the product of the zeros alpha beta is equal to constant term by coefficient of x cube. It means that is c by a. And when we see the relationship between the zero sign coefficients of a cubic polynomial, so here ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d is a cubic polynomial. Ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d is a cubic polynomial, and alpha beta gamma are the zeros of its zeros. Then to find the sum of the zeros formula is alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus of coefficient of x square by coefficient of x cube. Okay, so here minus symbol we write as this. So coefficient of x square means b and coefficient of x means a. It means minus b by a formula. And next product of the zeros. So three zeros are there, alpha, beta and gamma. So product of the zeros means alpha into beta into gamma is equal to minus of constant term by coefficient of x cube. So constant term means d, coefficient of x cube means a. Okay. So whenever given sum and product of the zeros taken to at a time, it means sum and product of the zeros taken to at a time. Alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha. The formula is coefficient of x by coefficient of x cube, that is c by a. Okay. And so whenever given two zeros for a quadratic polynomial, to find a quadratic polynomial, the formula is k of x square minus x into alpha plus beta plus alpha beta. So here k means any constant number and x is the variable. alpha plus beta means sum of the zeros, and alpha beta means product of the zeros. Now you will get a little confusion on this formula, but when we are solving the problems, we can understand easily about this formula. Okay, how relationship will come from a quadratic polynomial and cubic polynomial, and how to apply their formulas. Okay, so we will understand easily while solving the exercise problems. Okay, children. So this 4 formulae, you compulsory, you be perfect in this 4 formulae. So in the next class, we will discuss the exercise problems. Total exercise problems are dependent on this formula only. Okay, children. So all of you be perfect in this formula to that. So we will discuss exercise problems in the next class. Okay, children. Thank you all.